Welcome to today's episode on Well-being with Neka. How are you? Is this your first time? If this is your first time, then it must be your lucky day. Why don't you click subscribe so that you don't get to miss any of the next episodes? We have lots of videos on this channel that will help you in different aspects of your life. My name is Neka again. I'm your well-being practitioner and I am here for everything that has to do with your well-being. On today's episode, we'll be talking about 6 silent, almost ignored things that erode marriages. We're used to people going physical, we're used to money problems, we're used to submission problems, we're used to overbearing partners, but these 6 could be the reason your marriage has turned sour. So don't miss any of the tips on how to get it back. First one is microjudgment. Microjudging your partner. We ignore this because maybe it's part of our culture, or maybe we're used to it, or maybe along the line in the marriage we have gotten to that point where we no longer want to use words. What do we mean by microjudging? Microjudging is not using your words to express your displeasure. Microjudging is showing your displeasure to your partner with body language, hissing, shaking your head, rolling your eyes, stomping, knocking your foot on the floor, turning to the other side of the bed. Microjudging. What does this do to your partner? It eats up or eats on their self-confidence, because what you would have ended up doing is giving them the impression that they are not worth the stress, they are not worth your words, they are not worth the effort in trying to communicate. In case you miss or you are not getting my point, let me give you a clear example. When someone walks into their home and things are not the way they are meant to be, maybe the kids have not been sorted or the house has not been attended to, and this person hisses or rolls their eyes and walks away. What the person has done is tell the other partner, you're not worth the stress. You don't deserve me. I shouldn't be in the same space with you, without saying a word. A lot of marriages have come to this point. Maybe because the person who always talks got tired, maybe they never talked. So many reasons, but so many marriages have gotten to this point of microjudging the other, of presuming what the other would do, even when they've not done anything. What can we do to solve this if it already exists in your marriage? You have to start using your words, kind words. You have to start communicating. You have to start dialoguing with your partner. It doesn't mean that every day should be meeting. Come, let's talk about this. Come, no. It means you have to show your disapproval. You have to show your discontent with kind words. It's hard. I know it's hard, especially if the other person has repeatedly done the same thing for which you are microjudging. But if you come across this video, take it as a cue. Take it as an indication that you should save your marriage. So instead of microjudging, you have to try communicating in kind ways. You have to try pillow talking. If at the point of displeasure you do not feel up to talking, then wait until you go to bed and you tell your partner, this thing that happened, I didn't like how you handled it. Or so thing, we could have done it better. If you're the one guilty of microjudging. So let's go to the next silent thing that is killing our marriages. The next silent thing that is killing our marriages is business marriage relationship. Yeah, it's confusing. No, it doesn't mean when you and your partner do business. It means when your marriage has gotten to the point where it is working, it is flourishing, things are going well, the kids are taken care of, school fees are paid, mortgage is covered, feeding money is provided, and that's just about it. Your marriage has gotten to auto business cruise. You know, it's funded, it's bringing the output, and then there's no emotional connection. You don't talk about anything else except feeding money, business, school fees, rent. And when there is none of these topics to discuss, everybody goes to bed by 7 p.m. or everybody faces their phone. Your marriage has gotten to that business marriage level. You are flourishing as a union, but as you're flourishing as a marriage, but as a union, you're separating, you're distant, you're disconnected. You do not know what is going on in each other's lives. You do not know their worries. You do not know your partner's fears. You do not know you do not know anything. As long as the house is clean, the children are fed, the mortgage is paid, the car insurance is sorted, before you know it, you'll be looking for who to hear you out. And your partner will be looking for who to hear them out. And that, my dear, is one point that people rarely ever talk about. And how do we resolve this? If you see this video and this has been your marriage, drop your phones, forget about your businesses, because that's what I call it. Forget about your businesses, forget about the children, forget about the rent, forget about school fees, and talk to your partner. Talk about their fears. Talk about the love you share, or whatever it is you share. Talk about anything. Talk about intimacy. Talk about holiday ideas, even if you can't afford it. Just talk outside the businesses of marriage. It might be hard if you are far gone in the business of marriage, but you can start today. You can talk to your partner and say, can we drop our phones by 8 p.m. and talk? Can we watch a movie together? Can we share a drink? Look for something outside the business of marriage. And believe you me, things will improve. Let's go to the third silent thing that is slowly killing your marriage and you do not know. The next point is keeping a mental scorecard of who does more, who did first, and who did better. It's easier when people voice these things out. But when these scores are kept inside, it washes away the very fabric of your marriage. I apologized first. I greeted first. I contribute the most. What I bring to the table is more. I bought the children for 9 months. What did you do? You're keeping a mental scorecard of everything. And before you know it, you're fighting wars that don't exist. In a marriage, no, it's not going to succeed. You have to come in 100%. You have to do things because it will make your marriage progress. Don't do it as if you're doing a favor to your partner. No, it's not going to work that way. So, if by chance, by force, or by luck, you came across this video and you are in this enclosure of keeping mental scorecards, this is time for you to stop. Apologize because it is the right thing to do. Because you want peace. Because you enjoy seeing your partner and yourself happy. Not because, oh, I'm always the one apologizing. Oh, okay, let me apologize now because he or she apologized first the last time. No, you're not going to make progress. That was how you did this in 1926. Yes, that was how you said this in 19. You're keeping a scorecard. You're not going to move forward. And how do we work around this? Coming into your union wholeheartedly. Doing things you should do as if you're doing them for yourself. That is the only way. This silent thief will not steal your marital joy. We've already mentioned 3 points. Let's move forward. The fourth silent thief in your marriage is unresolved hurt. Moving ahead on unresolved hurt. Something happens and you wait it out and you just allow time to deal with it. And you feel you're okay. You feel your marriage is okay? No way. It is piling up somewhere to come crashing down later. If something happens, if there is a hurt, if somebody wrongs the other, it has to be addressed. It has to be resolved. It has to be treated, finished, and closed amicably, not aggressively. Because if you keep allowing hurts dissolve, sweep under the carpet, go unnoticed over time, they are depositing in the psyche of the person who has been hurt. And with time, the very foundations on which they are depositing will start shaking. And what will be the result? A dying or dead marriage. So instead of allowing hurts to just be unresolved, please apologize when you're wrong. Address issues to the very last detail and make sure the other person gets to the point that they accept that these things have been resolved to the best of your ability. We're all adults. Nobody can say they didn't know that what they did hurts their partner. No. We are all adults. We know when our partners are not happy. We know when we do something wrong. So, except you come to that point where hurts are addressed and resolved, you'll be piling up blocks that will come crumbling down someday. On to the fifth. The next point is refusing to evolve with your partner and your marriage. Some people have this false notion that it's okay to remain the way, it's okay for their partners not to change or grow. No, it's not okay. You as the partner, you're changing, you're growing in different ways. So you have to acknowledge this in your partner. And failure to do that, you will not be at par. This cuts across every sphere of the marriage. If your behavior is changing and you expect your partner's behavior to remain the same, good or bad, you're going to crash. If your career is growing and you expect your partners to remain stagnant, you're going to crash. If your partner is growing and you refuse to grow, you're going to crash. So this is for both partners to aim at growing and changing for the better. And if you find out that you're changing for the worse, don't be surprised if your partner changes for the worse. Don't expect loyalty if you sow disloyalty. Don't expect faithfulness if you sow cheating. Last but not the least is confusing peace with distance. There are people who don't get physical. They don't argue. They assume they are in peace without realizing that distance as wide as from one continent to the other already exists in their marriage. When your partner has gotten to that point where they value their peace more than you, is a very critical point in marriage. You get to that point where your partner stops complaining, stops arguing, stops questioning, and you think you're at peace. You are at loggerheads, only from a distance this time. The person has checked out. It's not peace. Your partner has long checked out. The person is physically present, but has his or her stuff are outside. Don't let your marriage get to that point where your partner chooses their peace over you. You have become non-existent, inconsequential. If you stumble, if you somersault, anything you do is okay with them. They have checked out. In case nobody told you, that marriage is over. They have left. They live somewhere else. Their hearts, their minds live somewhere else. You're just living with the carcass. At this point or at that point, you need to work extra hard to go to where they have checked out to bring them back. If not, you're doing that marriage alone. I don't think anybody has ever told you that there is a difference between peace and distance. And if you have not come to that realization, if you're sitting pretty, then there is a bigger problem. Come closer, a little bit closer. You need to make conscious effort to get to the emotions of your partner. I'm going to give you tips. It may work for you. A combination of them may work for you, but you have to do it. You have to ask how they are doing, genuinely. You have to start listening to them. You have to start taking their opinions. You have to start romanticizing your union. Introduce the touches, the hugs, the listening, the gifts. You need to draw them back if they are not that far gone, hopefully. But you need to get back that emotion you let go. You need to lobby for it. You need to You need to campaign for it. You need to do manifestos for it. You get what I mean? You need to even understand when there is peace and when there is distance. That's the most important point. And when you do, you have to start applying any of these things I said to get them back. We have come to the end of this episode, and I am sure, I can swear to it, that somebody picked something that they are guilty of and they're going to change. My name remains Neka, your well-being practitioner. I talk about anything that will make your life, your marriage, your relationship, your health better. If you have gotten to this point, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, kindly drop a comment. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to agree, you can disagree. It doesn't have to be patronizing. To encourage me, to encourage us to build a healthy community here. Thank you, and see you on the next episode. Bye.